Hello there. For this hint and tip, I am going to show you how I mix my metallic paints. In my last video I did a painting using metallic mixers, and you can mix them any way you like. This is just the way I like to do it and might give you some helpful ideas. So I've got a small cup here. I believe it's about 150ml, but I put my colours into my bottles, which I like to use so much, and so I don't need to make up a great deal of it. And I'm going to make it from scratch, so I just won't be adding my medium as such. I'll be adding and making up my medium as I go through the video. So my glue of choice is the Art Crafts and Hobby PVA glue, and I add distilled water. So I'm going to make that up. I'm not going to measure it. I'm going to use my stir sticks and feel the texture and flow of the paint to decide whether or not it's thick or thin enough for me to use. As I'm using the little bottles, it tends to be on the thinner side. So now I am going to just pop in some glue, just enough to cover the bottom. And then just a little water at a time until it is mixed up to the consistency that I like it. So I'll speed this up when I edited it, so you don't have to watch me constantly adding water and mixing until I get it to the right consistency. That will do. That's nice and thin. Now I'm going to start with making my green silver mix. So to this I add my silver paint. Artist Acrylic is my favourite. I've raved on and on about it in several of my videos, and I don't like the tops of them, so I'll take the top off completely and just add some silver paint to my cup. Just enough to colour my medium and mix it in. It's majority metallic silver with just a hint of the green. I call it, it's a blob of the green added to it until I get the green colour that I like, which I will do now. I'll just add some green, also Artist Acrylic, and it's lime green. And these paints are $2 a tube at my local $2 things shop, which is really good. There we go, just a dollop of green, and mix it in until I get the colour that I'm after, which is a light to medium metallic green. And that's about pretty close to the colour that I'm after. I might just put a tiny wee bit more of the green. So it's more silver, less green, but not much less because the colour is light. If I was using a phthalo green, I would have probably 80% silver and 20% of the phthalo green to get that real metallic colour that I'm after. But that's coming along very, very nicely. And give it a good mix. I don't think I'm going to need to add any more water to that, as I had a very thin medium to start with, and that is a good runny paint for my container. That's how I like it to be. Right, so I have got my bottle. I've got a little bit left in the bottom, doesn't bother me. I will be adding what I've made in the new lot straight to the bottle, because even if the colour's not exactly the same, which of course it's not going to be unless I'm using precise measurements, the colour is going to be close enough, and I can just mix in whatever is left over to the paint that I'm adding, and it will come out in a nice even colour. There we go, it's filled up. A little bit left over in the bottom, not a problem. Right, So put my lid on there, give it a bit of a shake up, and I have a silver and lime green metallic mix ready to use next time. Now for this one, I'm going to do it slightly differently because I'm actually going to be doing a red silver mix. So I'll start with my glue, just a little in the bottom. So I'm going to be doing this one slightly differently. I have got my colour that I want to use, and it is Montmartre acrylic colour in the crimson, but I've actually used this pot of colour. So what I've done is I have added about half a pot of distilled water to it to clean the container, but also so I can use up what's left over of the paint. I'll just get that yucky bit off the side, and I'm going to add that to my glue rather than just adding the distilled water, so that I've got the colour already added into it. So I'll pop a little in there and mix it up. And that is one way of using up the leftovers in a container like that Montmartre one, so that you've got your colour and you've got your thinning out of your glue at the same time. And that's a good consistency. I put the right amount in, which is really, really good. And now I'm going to add my silver to it so that I can bring up the colour that I want. So just put a good dollop of silver into that one, because I want more of a silver metallic than of the colour. So it's going to blend in really well, and the silver darkens it out to a certain extent as well, although that's too light for me. I actually quite like that. It's a nice silver colour, but I'm going to add some more colour to the cup. But I'm going to add a little bit more water first and see if that colours it down, and if it doesn't, I will add some of the regular colour, the regular paint. I actually really like that. That's a silver pink. That's very, very nice. But it's not the colour that I want. So I'm going to get my old mauve and add it to it, because my last colour had a mix of crimson, old mauve and silver. Alright, so that's the old mauve. Montmartre in the old mauve, and it's a new container. Uncle Bill's local shop in New Plymouth here finally got some new ones in about 6 weeks ago, and so I have got a whole new pot of the old mauve, as well as several of the pots of the other colours. So it's a nice thick consistency, which I really like, and I'm just going to take a dollop of that at a time and add it to my pot to get the colour that I want, that dark silver colour. I'll add a wee bit more of that dollop there because it didn't all want to come off. It's a very thick paint. I find it's actually very good to work with in that thickness, because I can use it for metallic mixes and have more of the metallic colour in it. That's better. That's more the colour that I'm after. That's lovely. Real silver metallic red, or in this case old mauve as it's called, with a little crimson added to it. It's a little on the thick side, so I'm going to add a little bit more of my coloured water to it, so I need it more runny than that. That's better. It's really good. And I can put that into my bottle. It's pretty close to the colour I already had in there, so that's not too bad. And as you can see, it's not too thick, not too thin, it's just dribbling beautifully. So I will now add that to the bottle. Just had to refix my camera back into place. It decided to fall down on me. So I'll keep going here. I've got my red or old mauve mix all ready to go to put into the container. So I'll just make that spout with it and just tip it in gently until I've filled up my pot. I think this time I'm going to use everything that I've got in my cup. Yep, really good. That's it. So now I have another cup, or bottle ready to go, and just give it a bit of a mix up. If you look closely, you can see a slight difference between the colours that were there, but there's not much. That's close to the colour that I had in there, and it's a metallic mix, which is what I wanted. So that's it for my hints and tips for today. Thank you very much for joining me, and I'll see you next time.